The decision library is not a procedures manual. I want to say that at the start, because the two things look similar from the outside and they are completely different in practice. A procedures manual tells someone how to do a task. A decision library tells someone how to make a call. Those are not the same thing. A task is something like how to invoice a client, how to order materials, how to book a job, repeatable, step by step. Anyone can follow it with enough detail. A decision is something like, should we quote this job at below our standard rate? Should we take on this client? What do we do when a client is unhappy with work they signed off on? How do we handle a team member who has been underperforming for 3 weeks? These are not tasks, they are judgments. And in most businesses, they sit entirely inside the owner's head. The owner makes them every week, often multiple times. Nobody else knows the criteria. Nobody else can make them consistently. The decision library is a collection of written answers to the judgment calls the owner makes repeatedly. The standard format is what the situation is, what the options are, what the owner would typically decide, and why, and where the boundary is, the line beyond which it escalates. The test for whether something belongs in the library is simple. If the team asks you this question more than twice a month, it belongs in the library. Most business owners who try to document their business start with procedures. They pick a task, client onboarding or invoicing or whatever feels most important, and they start writing a step-by-step process. 3 problems with this as a starting point. First, procedures take a long time to write well. A detailed procedure for one process can take 4 to 6 hours. Business owners do not have that time sitting idle. They get 3 procedures written, run out of time or momentum, and the project dies. Second, procedures go out of date quickly. The moment something changes in the business, a new tool, a new team member, a new service, the procedure is wrong. Keeping procedures current becomes a project in itself. Third, procedures do not reduce owner dependency. They codify tasks. The most expensive thing in most businesses is not the task execution. It is the owner being called in to make the judgment call. Procedures do not touch that. The decision library is faster to build, slower to go out of date, and directly addresses the dependency problem. One decision documented takes 20 to 30 minutes. It changes who makes that call immediately. It does not need updating unless the decision criteria change, which is rare. The business that has 15 documented decisions and no written procedures is more valuable and less dependent on the owner than the business that has 50 procedures and no decision library. 15 is the right starting number, enough to make a material difference to owner dependency, small enough to complete in 90 days without it becoming a project. The way to choose which 15. Spend 10 minutes writing down every question the team asks you repeatedly. Do not filter or organize, just list them. Every time someone asks you what to do about a client complaint, how to respond to a particular inquiry, whether to take on a certain job, those go on the list. Then look at the list and identify the ones that cost the most when they are delayed. The questions where the team waits for an answer and something stalls in the meantime. Those are your first 15. The 5 categories that almost always produce the most important decisions across service businesses. 1. Pricing and quoting judgment. When to deviate from the standard rate, when to walk away from a job, what to do if a client pushes back on a quote. 2. Client relationship calls. How to respond to a client who is unhappy. How to handle a client who is persistently late paying. When to exit a client relationship. 3. Team decisions. How to handle a team member who misses a quality standard once, twice, 3 times. What to do when someone is underperforming. What constitutes a disciplinary conversation. 4. Operational escalation. What problems get solved without the owner? What gets flagged? What requires immediate action? 5. Quality threshold calls. When a piece of work meets the standard, when it does not. When to redo it versus send it. That is 15. Every business will have a slightly different version of those 5 categories, but the categories themselves are almost universal. The format matters just as much as the content. A decision library that is hard to find or hard to read does not get used. Here is the format that works. 1 page per decision, not more. If it takes more than 1 page to explain a decision, the decision criteria are too complex and need to be simplified, not documented more. The 1 page has 4 sections. Section 1, the situation. 2 sentences describing when this decision needs to be made. Specific enough that a team member knows when it applies. Section 2, what to consider. 3 to 5 bullet points. The things that should be weighed before making the call. Not the answer, the inputs that inform it. Section 3, what we typically do. 1 or 2 sentences. The standard call. The answer in 80% of cases. Written in plain language, not policy language. Section 4, when to escalate. 1 sentence. The specific condition under which this decision goes to the owner instead of being made by the team. That is the whole document on a shared drive, accessible to everyone, searchable by situation. The most important part of section 3 is the word typically, not always. Typically, the library is not a rule book, it is a guide. The team can use their judgment. The library tells them what judgment looks like in this business. The most common question I get when I show business owners the decision library format is, how do you get the team to actually use it? The answer is simpler than most owners expect. The first step is to tell the team it exists and where it is, not in a meeting individually. The first time they are about to ask a question that is in the library, stop them before they ask. Say, before you ask me that, check the decision library. It is under decisions, client complaints. Let me know if the answer is there. The second time they try to ask the same question, the same thing. Third time, have you checked the library? By the 4th or 5th time, the habit is installed and they stop coming to you first. The reason this works is not compliance. It is that the library actually answers the question better than a quick conversation with the owner does. The owner, in a quick conversation, gives a rushed, contextless answer. The library gives a considered answer with the criteria explained. The team quickly works out that the library is more useful. The owner's job in the first 30 days is to notice every time a team member asks a question that should be in the library and is not yet. Every one of those is the next addition. The library grows from use, not from a documentation session. Here is what the business owners I have worked with typically notice in the first 30 days after installing the decision library. The first thing, the number of interruptions to the owner's day drops, not to 0. But the interruptions that do happen are genuine escalations rather than questions the team could have answered from the library. This usually produces 2 to 3 hours of recovered time per week in the first month. The second thing, the quality of team decisions improves, not because the team got smarter, because they now have consistent criteria to apply instead of making calls based on what they think the owner would want. The library makes the owner's standards explicit and therefore reproducible. The third thing, new team members get up to speed faster. The library is a window into how the business thinks. A new person who reads through the library in their first week understands the owner's decision-making framework. That understanding takes months to develop through observation. The library compresses it. The fourth thing, and this is the commercial one, P5 question starts to look different. The P5 question is, could the business run for 2 weeks without the owner? In the businesses that have installed a decision library, the answer to that question improves. Not to 100%, but from 40% to 60 or 70%. That improvement is the foundation for everything else in P3. Start with 1 decision this week, not 15. 1. The one the team asks you about most often. Write the 4 sections. Put it somewhere. Tell one person it is there. That is the beginning. DM me, plan, and I will send you the template. Link in the description.